The Maroons of the University of Chicago and the Hope College Flying Dutch. University of Chicago, a member of the University Athletic Association, a powerful Division III conference, comes into tonight's matchup with a 5-4 overall record. The first weekend, they were at the University of Wisconsin Lacrosse for a tournament where they went 2-2. They defeated Lacrosse 3-0. They lost to the Pirates of Whitworth University in 5, followed by a 5-set victory over St. Olaf and a 3-1 loss to Aurora, these two teams' only opponent, common opponent. Then they played Illinois Wesleyan, and they swept them 3-0. And then they went down to Transylvania in Lexington, Kentucky for a tournament where they once again faced the Pirates of Whitworth and once again were defeated, this time 3-1. They lost to host Transylvania 3-0. They were then able to come back the next day and pick up 2 victories, the first against Sewanee and the second against the University of St. Benedict, both of those in straight sets. Offensively, Chicago is led by junior Natalie Schlitt. She is an outside hitter, and she hails from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. On defense, they are led up front in blocking by Daya Mishra. Daya is a freshman middle from Seattle, Washington, averaging .89 blocks per set. And then up in the back row, they are led by Julia Craig with 4.12 blocks per set. Julia, a sophomore libero from St. Petersburg, Florida. As you can tell, a national roster for the University of Chicago that mirrors their national student body. Hope College comes into the match with a 6-1 record. And they're being introduced right now. They are led up front by sophomore Annie Lockett. On offense, she averages 4.48 points per set. On defense, they are led up front by, pull up my notes here, by Charlotte Brecht. The senior middle averages 1.08 blocks per set. And then in the back row, they are led by Eva Hartung, who averages 8.0 digs per set. Hope College, as we said, came into tonight's match with only one loss. They started last week ranked 6th nationally, and that was after a very impressive weekend at Cedar Point, that first weekend of play, Labor Day weekend, where they went 4-0. And they went 12-0 in sets. They defeated Hiram, Baldwin Wallace, Heidelberg, and Bethany of West Virginia. And then the next weekend, they hosted their own tournament, the NCAC MIAA crossover. They defeated Denison in 4 on Friday night and then woke up early on Saturday morning to a very angry, well, I don't know if they were angry, but they were very good Wittenberg University Tiger team, and they lost 3-1. Wittenberg went 2-1 in that tournament, and they defeated 2 nationally ranked teams, 2 top 10 teams. And then later that afternoon, the Dutch swept Ohio Wesleyan 3-0. This is the last matchup for Chicago before they start their very grueling travel schedule for the University Athletic Association. And Hope still has more non-league play to go, including hosting another tournament this weekend. We hope you can make it out here. They will play Clarkson on Friday night, and then on Saturday they will play the University of Northwestern of Minnesota, not to be confused by the Northwestern of Iowa, an NAIA team and sister college to the Dutch. And then later on Saturday they will play Otterbein of Ohio. We're about set to go here for this non-league matchup. 2 very good teams, both nationally ranked, Hope in the top 20, and Chicago, at last I checked, was honorable mention ranked, or top 25, I should say. We'll see who. We don't have the best view here from where we are atop the in the classroom, I guess. We are Steve Secor, the executive producer, camera person, mic modulator, and all other things except the voice tonight. He and I are, we cannot hear. And so if we can't hear, you probably can't hear. But we hope you can see. We hope you enjoy it. And it should be some good volleyball. Maya Patel will start serving for Chicago. The first tip is to Charlotte Breck on the zip play, and she's able to tip it over. Wasn't great timing, but she was able to get it over and above the single block. Hope gets the first point, and they get the serve back, or get the first serve of the night. It's Olivia Fiebing who serves it, and Chicago gets the point back on the first rally. We're tied at 1-1. Server is Maggie McInerney, outside hitter from Kansas City. Attack by the setter for Hope, and it is blocked, and so that will be a violation against Chicago. Hope gets the point. Lauren Lee, the freshman setter, attacked the ball. She jumped up. She hit it with her left hand, and it was blocked illegally. 2-1 Hope. Back set. That's Cammie Cox. That ball is played, and Allison DeWeert on the overpass is able to kill it, and it's 3-1. Mistimed on the middle attack. The ball was intended for Ellie Alden, but just a little too high, a little too long, in between the outside hitter and the middle hitter. Point for Hope. They're up 4-1. Middle attack this time is successful from the setter, Ellie Alden. And she will go back to serve. Hope leads 4-2. Second contact comes from the back row. For Chicago, it's played. Once again, second contact from Hope comes from the back row. Left-handed attack by the right side, Emma Post, and she finds the floor. 5-2, Hope. Jenna Core, the other outside hitter into the game. Lockett will serve. She's been playing all 6 rotations. We'll see if she stays in. The outside attack by Chicago is blocked by Emma Post and Allison DeWeerd. Really tough situation for the outside hitter, Natalie Schilt. She did what she could with it, but she just couldn't get it high enough on that tough of an angle at 6-2 Hope. This goes to the right side, and nice attack by Cammie Cox. Good heads-up play by Hope, however, to let it go, and they get the point. 7-2. Serve goes to the middle of the court. Cammie Cox is going to this time twist it the other way. It's picked up by Fiebing. And an outside attack by Emma Post that time, even though she's a right side player, and that's going to cause first-year coach Mitchell McPartland to call his first time out. Hope leads 8-2 in set 1. We will take a short break. You're watching Hope Volleyball. A2 Hope leads. The latest AVC coaches rankings have just come out, or earlier this week they came out, I should say. Here's Jenna Core is going to take it from 12 feet away as she tries to do something with it, but she hits it too deep, and it'll be 8-3, her first attack attempt of the evening. Hope and Calvin both dropped a little bit as they both were beaten decisively by Wittenberg. And Wittenberg, that was barely honorable mention in week 1, has rocketed up to a well-deserved number 16. Calvin sitting at 5 and Hope sitting at 9. Another impressive performance this weekend was by MIAA mate Albion, and they have put themselves in the top 25. They're sitting now at 22, as there's very good volleyball in this part of the region. 3 teams from the MIAA in the top 10. That serve goes out. Chicago will get the ball back, trailing 9-4. Serving for Chicago is Natalie Schilt. She has led the Maroons all season on offense. Sends the ball down the right side of the court as Natalie looks at it. Emma Post once again finds a way to slip it between McInerney and Roberts, and it's 10-4. Emma Post with her second kill of the night. Here's an attack by the right sider, Emma Lotz. It's handled by Hope. Hope sends it back over. That's Maggie McInerney. That ball is handled. An attack from the back row by Annie Lockett, and she finds a way to get it. Annie Lockett leading the Dutch in points per set, and she has a lot of power, but she doesn't always use it. She sometimes very wisely finds a spot on the floor with a little bit of topspin, and that's exactly what she did there. Hope leads 11-4. This is once again Emma Lotz. That ball's handled by Hope. Battle at the net. Chicago with another chance. Once again, it's Lotz. Lauren Lee has to run all the way to get it. And nice attack by Lockett. This time she brought a little bit more juice, and it went deep. But like the effort, as Lauren Lee had to come a long way to get the ball. She found her favorite target, Lockett, and she sent it just a little deep. Nice play, though, when you're up 11-4. That's 11-5 now. Lee sends it to number 12, Charlotte Breck, and we haven't heard her name yet tonight, but she picks up her first kill of the night on a nice little zip play. 12-5. Hope's been in control since the beginning of set 1. Ball comes to the middle of the court. Maddie Ryan doing the setting now. And Annie Lockett, once again, smartly finding a spot on the floor. Using her power when she needs to, but seeing the court very, very well. And put it right between 2 players, 13-5. Nice play there on a middle attack. Give credit to Ellie Alden that time as she was able to pick it up. No, scratch that. Alden on the assist. Maddie Ryan with the kill. (13-6). All the way across the court is Annie Lockett from Lauren Lee. She gets it off the block, and it's another point for Hope. Lockett showing more speed and power on that one. She's joined up front with Lauren Lee and Allison DeWeerd. Actually, Lauren's in the back row along with Emma Post is up front now. Natalie Schilt has her attack handled. Chicago's going to get a chance up against 2 blocks. They'll get another chance on the outside this time, tight to the antenna. Able to play it is McInerney. Here's the set from the libero this time. The attack is Cammie Cox. It's handled. Annie Lockett with a rocket. Hey, I like the sound of that as she picks up a point. 15-6. Another timeout by the University of Chicago. It's been all Hope in set 1. Hope 15, Chicago 6. We will be back with more Hope Volleyball. 15-6, Hope leads. They lead in all categories. Right now it's Annie Lockett with 4 kills and Emma Post with 3. Team statistics, it's all Hope. Chicago hitting 0 right now to Hope's 529. Chicago on the outside attack here and picked up by Fiebing. Lockett once again played in the back row. Middle attack is handled by Hope. And Allison DeWeerd up against the single block from Alden. Finds a full corner of the court that's wide open, and she sticks it inside the white lines. 16-6. Impressive early performance by Hope. They ran into a very tough Wittenberg team, their only loss of the year so far. And Wittenberg beat Calvin in 4, they beat Hope in 4, but then they lost to Albion. So that makes for the MIAA to be an incredibly interesting league play, as those 3 teams will battle only once before they get to the league tournament. That was Maggie McInerney picking up the kill there, and now she will head back to serve. Lauren Lee goes outside. Lockett off of the block from Cammie Cox. Another kill for Lockett, having her way thus far with the Chicago defense. Outside attack by Cox is sent back by 2 blockers. Fiebing picks it up. Way outside again to Lockett. Right side this time to Cox. Lauren Lee's going to go in the middle. And net violation. It wouldn't have mattered as they weren't able to pick up the attack by Allison DeWeerd. She will get credit for that. That will be her second, I think. We ought to go check that. Allison, no, that will be her 3rd kill of the night. 18-7, Hope with a big lead. Tip shot is handled. And the attack by Emma Post is blocked, but it's out of bounds, and Hope picks up another point. 19-7. Nice first contact to the middle of the court, and what a play by Natalie Schiltz, but I believe it was a great cut shot, but it was just wide as it went from the far left side of the court to the far right side of the court, but it was outside the white line. 22-7. Hope leads. And there's a middle attack by Ellie Alden, and Chicago picks up another point. They still trail, however, 20-8. For Alden, that is her 4th kill of the night. Grace Marshall, who comes in the back row for Jenna Core, gets the first contact, and another attack by Hope, and it ricochets off the back row, and they pick up another point, 21-8. And an opportunity to get some subs in the game here for Hope. I think we're going to see number 21, Brooke Fox. A freshman outside hitter from Sonneman, Illinois. I hope I pronounced that right. What do you think, Mr. Secor? Saunemin. Sonneman? All right, Sonneman, Illinois. Brooke Fox, Sonneman's finest, is in the game. Hope leads 21-9. Dropping back to serve is Maddie Ryan, one of the setters from Hope, senior from Seattle. And misplayed by Hope, and Chicago will take control of the ball, keep control of the ball, I should say, 21-10. And Chicago wisely going after the newest player on the team. Attack by Emma Post, ricochets off the block. Mary Roberts unable to handle it, and it's 22-10. Good strategy by the Chicago coaching staff. Go after Brooke Fox, new to the game. She hasn't been playing, and the first one she struggled with, the second one she handled, and Hope got the point. Cross-court attack by Natalie Schilt. What a play, as she is able to find a way to weave around the blocker and brought the ball from the far left side to the far right side. Schilt leads her team tonight with, well, actually, no, that's her first kill of the night. She leads the team overall. Breck has her ball blocked. Lauren Lee sends it over on the first attack, and there's a block by Charlotte Breck and Emma Post on the attack that came from about 8 feet off the net. Perfect timing, 23-11. Hope offense getting the serving position from Coach Carrie Lahaki. Attack on the outside by Maggie McInerney. What a play by Hope to handle it. This one's going to come from the libero outside, and nice play. That's Cammie Cox, who ricochets it, I believe, off of Brooke Cox on the block. And that's going to make it 23-12. Claudia Barbarossa, a freshman from Saratoga, California, into the game for Chicago to do the serving. Free ball will come to Chicago with an attempt on the outside. It's handled. That was Emma Lotz. Middle Charlotte Breck sends it over, but it's picked up nicely by Schilt. Schilt again with a great play. Outside attack is pushed by McInerney, handled by Hope. There's Brooke Fox with her first attack attempt. And she blocks it, but the ball stays alive. Charlotte Breck trying to get over the block. She sends it long as she saw McInerney arrive just in the nick of time, and that caused Charlotte Breck to send it just a little high and a little deep. 23-13. Barbarossa to serve again. And that one is out, and that will make it set point. Grace Marshall coming back into the match as Brooke Fox takes her first turn up front. Might have been her first opportunity. I didn't check the stats to see once if she played over the weekend. We'll have to check that. Did a nice job here as a freshman, getting herself acclimated to Hope Volleyball. A nice attack by Chicago, and that's going to create a point for them, 24-14. Maya Patel's going to come into the game for Chicago, and I think we also got Cammie Cox back in. Patel to serve. Another set point for Hope. Nice crowd. It's a beautiful day outside, so we appreciate you joining us, whether you're joining us in person or if you're joining us online. Lockett is handled, but Chicago does have to free ball it over. Outside, Lockett off of the block. She's done that a ton today, and that is going to be the first set going to Hope by a score of 25-14. They dominated from wire to wire as they played very well both on offense and defense, led by Annie Lockett up front. We're going to take a little break. When we come back, we will be ready to bring you set two. You are watching Hope Volleyball. Set 1 goes to the Flying Dutch as they win convincingly. Leading stat totals as well, hitting 441 against Chicago's 129. 25-14, of course, was the final score. 18 kills for Hope compared to only 9 for the Maroons. Offensively, they were led by Annie Lockett with 6 kills, hitting 417. Charlotte Breck had a pair. Allison DeWeerd had 4. Allison DeWeerd hitting 800 as she was a quiet but very effective offensive weapon. For Chicago, it was Alden with 5 kills. She hit 1,000. They want to go to her if they can. And they were able to quiet some of their leaders, Hope was, including Natalie Schilt, who only had 1 kill in that game, 2 attack errors for a hitting percentage of minus 200. The first serve of the second set will go to Hope College in the person of Allison DeWeerd. The attack by McInerney was really good, but Hope was able to track it down way over by the scoreboard. The scorer's table. Emma Post from the right side with a lot of power, getting up high off of her 5'8" frame. Great attack by Emma Post. That's going to give her 6 on the night, unless it's already been logged. Let's check it. No, it had already been logged, so that was 5. Another point for Hope on a service ace, making it 2-0. Ace by DeWeerd. She serves from the left side of the court. Outside attack, just a little long, very close. McInerney with a nice attempt. Got it up over the block and just outside the white line. Hope off to a 3-0 lead. Weird sends it hard right in the middle. Emma Post up to block. And Chicago is able to use some creativity as Ellie Alden just put 2 hands up and slapped it. And it's 3-1. Attack by Charlotte Breck is blocked in the middle. There was a single block, but there to meet Charlotte's attack was Ellie Alden, and it's 3-2. Phoebing to Lee. Emma Post, who's having a day. This one's picked up by Chicago. Attack from the back row, Lauren Lockett, and it's a little deep. Hope with the first 3 points of this set. Chicago answers with the next 3. We're tied with Chicago in the serve. Lockett overpasses, but Hope's able to get it. And Emma Post. But before that, up umpire David Vandermeer finds a blocking of the setter, back row attack. And so that is going to be a point for Chicago, 4-3. Emma Post from the middle, picked up by Chicago. Outside is Schilt, Phoebing. Outside is Jenna Core, who sends it over. Nice attack, and she picks up a point as it was hit once, but it was not able to be wound. Let's see. Wasn't able to be dug up from deep inside right by the net, and so that's going to be a point for Jenna Core. We're tied at 4. Emma Post with her left-handed serve, serving from the right-hand side of the court. Attack by Schultz, and that's another point for Natalie Schilt, 5-4 Chicago. What looked like it was going to be a quick Hope run-up, as it was in set 1, Chicago has answered this time. They lead 5-4. And that serve's going to go long. Hope will get it back, tied 5-all. Jenna Core will come out. Grace Marshall will come in to take her back row rotations. And she'll start by serving from the left-hand side of the court. First contact, McInerney. Attack by Daya Mishra. We haven't heard her name yet today, but she had two blockers waiting for her, and Hope sends it back. 6-5. They have the lead in the ball. This is going to go outside. Down the line. What a play by Natalie Schilt as she sticks it between the single block and the antenna. And we're tied at 6-all. Great play by Schilt, finding she didn't have a whole lot of room other than the width of the ball, and she was able to find a spot. Hope not able to do much with that possession. And that leaves it open for Daya Mishra, who finds a spot in the back of the court. Nice play. And Chicago retakes the lead, 7-6. First contact is post. Lauren Lee outside to Lockett, who sends a rifle down the line, but it is wide, 8-6. Serve in the front left part of the court, and that's Annie Lockett, who just puts enough on it. Chicago did not get great penetration on that block, and Lockett was able to slip it in between the blockers and the net. Hope gets the ball back. They trail 8-7. Middle attack is out, hit hard by Emma Lotz, but deep, and we are tied at 8. Deep serve by Hope, but it's played. And that attack by Mishra is going to go long, but it's deflected at the net, and Chicago picks up the point. 9-8, Chicago leads. And we've seen a closing of the gap in the statistics as we've seen a closing in the gap in the match. Chicago has moved up to 163 hitting percentage, and Hope has dropped to 349. That attack is sent back. This attack, however, is not, as Maggie McInerney gets it up over DeWeert and Lee. The first time DeWeert and Lee were there to send it right back, but not the second time. 10-8, Chicago leads. Lauren Lee's going to go to the middle this time. Annie Lockett rolls it, but it's picked up. Post overpasses, but gets another chance outside to Lee, and it's blocked, and Chicago picks up another point. Emma Lotz, the sophomore right side from Los Angeles, California, picks up the point, and it's 11-8, and Hope is going to take its first time out of the match. They trail 11-8. We will take a break on Hope Volleyball. Welcome back to set 2 on the campus of Hope College. The Dutch are getting all they can handle from Chicago in this second set. They trail 11-8. And this is going to be a middle attack by DeWeert, and it's going to be out, hoping for a touch. And one of the officials had it, but the up referee said nope. 12-8, Chicago leads. Here's Emma Post to Lauren Lee. Outside, Annie Lockett is handled that time, and we did have a net violation on Mishra. And Hope is able to stop the Chicago Tide. They trail 12-9. Lauren Lee serves it down the right side of the court, Second contact comes from the libero Fiebing this time. And Emma Post manages to beat Mishra, who was a little late on the block, and it is 12-10. Hope trying to crawl back into the lead. Lauren Lee sends it down the right side again on her serve. Picked up well by Chicago. It was Maggie McInerney who made the nice serve receive, and then McInerney fires a kill from left to right, and Chicago keeps its lead at 13-12. Fiebing to Lee, right side to Lockett. That's dug by Ryan, and Hope will get another chance. This time Emma Post ricochets it off the block from Emma Lotz. A couple of Emmas. And this time Post wins out over Lotz. It's 13-11 Chicago. Lockett will serve. She serves deep. I was sitting there during Saturday's match, and she comes all the way back to those seats. That happened to be where I was sitting. And you need to make room for her because she uses every inch that she can get. Emma Post has her shot. The attack by Chicago is off of the block from Emma Post, but it goes out of bounds, and Chicago picks up the point. It's 14-11. Nice tooling of the block by Chicago that time. They're up to hitting 200 compared to Hope's 314, so the gap is shrinking in terms of statistics, and that's being displayed in the score, and Chicago has its biggest lead of the night, 15-11. Remember, Hope started 3-0, so they have outscored Hope 15-8 in the last 23 points. The crowd exhorting the Dutch to bring some energy to this game as they have been handled by Chicago most of the time. That serve goes deep, and that will give the ball back to Hope and the serve to Allison DeWeert. She serves from the left side of the court, sends it into the deep right corner. Outside attack is played by DeWeert. That was McInerney. Jenna Corr with a roll shot. Outside again, McInerney off the block, and she picks up another point. Post and DeWeert were there. Heads up play by McInerney to tool it off the block, 16-12. Well, what looked like would be an easy three-set affair based on Hope's dominance of set one is far from it now. Charlotte Breck finds a quick hitter in the middle. What she does best off the set from Lauren Lee. And this is the kind of offensive weapon and set of weapons that Hope needs to find to get back into this. They trail 16-13. They can't afford to trade points. Back row attack is McInerney. It's played by Hope. Jenna Corr from left to right is played by Chicago. And Charlotte Breck comes around the setter. That one's played by Chicago. And attack by Cammie Cox ricochets off the Breck Corr block and falls in front of the back row, and Chicago picks up another point. They are playing very well in set two. Dia Mishra coming back in. She'll play the front row. And Chicago leads 17-13. Fiebing makes a last-second decision to play it. She does a great job with it. Jenna Core sends it over. It's played by Chicago. And there's Cammie Cox going up against a single block from Jenna Core. And Cammie Cox finds a way to cut it in quite easily because Jenna was the only one there. 13-18, and that's going to be the second timeout from Hope. They cannot get out of this. They cannot climb their way back in, as every time they do, Chicago has an answer. They lead by 5. We'll take a short break and be back with more Hope Volleyball. Well, Mr. Steve Secor and I were maybe hoping for a 3-set drubbing tonight in a Flying Dutch victory. And frankly, after the first set, we thought we might get to go home a little early tonight. But Chicago had other plans as they lead in set 2, 13-8, and have largely had their way. After the first 3 points were scored by Hope, we thought it was going to be kind of a tip over, but it hasn't been at all. Lauren Lee trying to get something going in the middle. Can't really connect with Breck. Oh, and that ball is misplayed again by Hope, and it's 13-19. Well, you know when things aren't going well, when the ball comes over and Coach Schmidt kicks it over to the ball boy. And I don't blame her. She's very frustrated as Chicago is outplaying Hope right now. Lockett with the first contact way outside the court. She finds a spot, but what a dig by Patel. That was a great attack by Core, but Chicago had an answer. In the middle, they have an answer for Charlotte Breck. They go outside. Fiebing picks it up. They'll go back to Core. She rolls it this time. Again, answered by Chicago. Chicago with a roll. Lauren Lee's going to go outside again to Jenna Core, and she finds a spot. She put it off the single block. It hit the antenna, and then it went out. And finally, Hope stems the tide, and it's 19-14 as they have to climb their way back in. Grace Marshall comes in for Core to play the back row, and she will serve. Up front, it's Post and Breck and Lockett for Hope. And a single block by Charlotte Breck on Mishra. And that's the kind of play Hope needs. They trail now 15-19. Marshall to serve again. Single-handed set because there wasn't much else the Chicago setter could do with it. Hope wasn't able to do much with it either. Right side attack by Cammie Cox, and it's able to dribble down in between the Hope players, and it's 20-15 Chicago. Hope has to score 2 for every one of Chicago's if they're going to be able to pull out a victory here. If you haven't noticed, we are in an obstructed view box here. It is not the executive suite. So the team on the far court, as you are looking at it from your viewing screen, is the team we can see serving. So in the first set, we were able to tell you who was serving for Chicago and not for Hope. This time, we were able to tell you that the Hope setters, who they are, and this time it was Olivia Fiebing. And her serve is returned promptly and sincerely by Natalie Schlitt, who let it fire from the outside, and it's 21-16 Chicago. Here's the serve. Lauren Lee goes outside to Lockett, tries to get it over the blocker. She does, but it's played. And Chicago finds another spot. Maggie McInerney goes deep into the middle of the court, gets it up over the block, and finds a spot. 22-16. Hope coaches with their hands folded in front of them, trying to figure out what to do. Lockett, it's deflected. Chicago with a chance, and that one goes a little deep. There's no touch, so Hope will get the ball on the hitting error by McInerney. 22-17. Lauren Lee, the freshman setter, will serve. Sends it down the right side of the court. A push by McInerney. Hope is able to get it to Lockett. And that attack by Lotz is handled by Hope. Lauren has to send it over. Here's a free ball. It's going to go right side to Lotz, picked up by Hope. Lockett again with a roll shot. And right side attack by Emma Lotz is answered by a double block from DeWeerd. And Lockett, 22-18. And Chicago will take a timeout as they lead by 4 in the second set. We will take a break and be back with more Hope Volleyball. Trying desperately to claw out, or scratch out, I should say, a victory in set 2. They dominated set 1, 25-14. And unless they want to play 4 sets against the Maroons, they need to pull this one out. They trail by 4. Maroons knocking on the victory door, and they get it on an outside attack. They pick up the point by McInerney. So the timeout from Chicago has paid off, a wise timeout from Coach McPartland in his first season with the Maroons. And they're about to beat a top 10 team in the nation in a set here on their home court. Middle attack by Allison DeWeerd, and she finds a spot as she goes left to right, 23-19. Hope is running out of real estate here as they cannot afford to give up many more points. Lockett serves. Roll shot by McInerney. Middle attack by DeWeert. Outside by Core is played by the libero. Right side is Lotz. Second contact from Fiebing, and the right side by Emma Post is sent back by Chicago, and they are at set point. Maya Patel will come in, and she will play the back row. And since she's the only one on the floor that I can't see, I'm going to say she's going to serve. Obviously, since she just came in. Jenna Core is going to take it from about 6 feet off the net, but it's blocked, and Chicago picks up set 2 in very convincing fashion. 25-19. Other than the first 3 points going to Hope, there really wasn't much of a match as the Chicago Maroons handle the Flying Dutch in set 2. So we're going to stay a little later here tonight, at least 2 more sets. We're tied at 1. We'll take a little break, and we'll be back with more Hope Volleyball. Welcome back to the DeVos Fieldhouse for set 3 of this really good volleyball match between the University of Chicago and Hope College. Hope dominated set 1. Chicago did the same in set 2, and the stats have evened out to reflect that. Hitting percentage 208 for Chicago, 236 for the Dutch. Looking individually, Maroons are led by Alden was 6 and McInerney was 6. And then good balance with Mishra, Cox, and Schlitz, all with 4. For Hope, they are led by Emma Post from the right side, having a day with 8, along with Annie Lockett, who also has 8. Allison DeWeerd with 5. Emma Post hitting a blistering 727. Lockett, they're camping out on her much more effectively. She's hitting 120. And Charlotte Breck with 3 kills hitting 100. So it's time for set 3 as we will see if the Dutch can get a little bit of momentum here and pick up a third set victory. They need to play better than they did in set 2, and Chicago was really, really good. And they pick up the first point as Maggie McInerney, who was largely silent in set 1, gets it up over the single block. It ricochets and goes high, and Hope can't track it down as it's deep in the corner. Maya Patel will serve for Chicago, and she sends it deep, and we are tied at 1. And a block by Annie Lockett. And Annie Lockett trying to show some energy here as Hope didn't have a whole lot to cheer about after the first 3 points in set 2. Trying to get something going here to fire up this home crowd and her team. And nice attack by Maggie McInerney, but she cut it just a little hard. And they call it a touch. And it is 2-2. Didn't see that touch, but that's what the call was, 2-all. Allison DeWeerd finds a way off the single block from Ellie Alden, and Chicago is not able to track it down. Hope leads 3-2. Right side attack by Cox is played by Hope, but they're going to have to send it over on a free ball. Middle attack is a tip by Alden, and she finds a spot between DeWeerd and Fiebing. Smart play by Alden. Tied at 3-all. Serving will be Ellie Alden, the middle from San Marcos, California. Not to be confused with San Marcos, Texas, the hometown of Professor Andy McCoy of the Hope College faculty, or nearby San Marcos. The attack by Cammie Cox is blocked, and Hope takes the lead 4-3. Serve in the middle of the court. Patel to set, and she finds her right side hitter, her right side hitter, Cammie Cox, who finds a spot. Cammie Cox, a native of Ensenada, California. The home of former Hope College volleyball star, Ms. Paige Baker. Class of, I believe, 2017. Jenna Kaur has her attack blocked by Mishra and Lotz. And Jennicor thought she had it ricocheted out of bounds. It landed in, and Chicago has the lead. Maddie Ryan will serve for Chicago. Right side, Emma Post, who's done a great job on offense today. She picks up that ball, and the ball's near the net, and it manages to slip through on the Chicago side, and it's tied at 5. Charlotte Breck comes in. Good serve, makes Chicago chase it. Hope will have a chance here in the middle. Charlotte Breck goes from left to right and ricochets it off the libero. And Hope with a 6-5 lead. Serve in the middle of the court again. This is an outside attack by Chicago that's blocked by Hope. And they pick up the point as the ball's Chicago tried to dig out the ball, but it managed to hit the antenna on their effort. 7-5 Hope. Libero with the first contact. Setter attack. Catches Hope off guard. Jenna Core is going to have to push it to the back of the court. There's a roll shot by Schiltz. Managed by Hope. Emma Post with a deep corner topspin. And she finds a spot over. What a great, great attack. It was just hard enough and just deep enough with the right topspin over the blocks. 8-5 Hope. There's an outside attack by Schlitz, and she's able to pick up a point. It's 8-6 Hope. She came into tonight leading all Maroon hitters in kills per set. And she will serve. Serves it short to Jenna Core. Lauren Lee, right side, Emma Post, racking up another kill. Having perhaps her best point production of the season. That is her, wait for it, 11th kill. She leads all Dutch attackers. It's odd for the right side to be leading in kill attempts and number of kills, but Emma Post has indeed. Jenna Core that time is able to bounce it off the single block. Hope picks up another point. They lead by 4. That's going to cause Coach McPartland to call timeout, and we will take a timeout as well, and we'll be back with more Hope Volleyball. A nice crowd for a beautiful summer evening where you have lots of choices in our beautiful town. We're grateful you have joined us online. We're also grateful for all of the University of Chicago fans who are watching from probably all over the country. We hope we are representing your team and its effort well, as they have battled mightily tonight against Hope, and they are tied 1 set apiece. Charlotte Breck with a nice little tip play in the middle of the court. Picks up another point. Hope exerting its dominance at this point, 11-6, something they were not able to do in set 2. Outside attack by McInerney, played by Hope, all the way across to Jenna Core. That one is picked up by Schlitt. McInerney again. Lauren Lee has to trace it down. Jenna Core has to push it way in the back. And that time an outside attack by Emma Lotz finds the floor just in front of the back row. Chicago picks up a point, 11-7. Claudia Barbarossa will serve for Chicago. Left-hander hails from Saratoga, California. Attacked by Chicago, and she finds a spot. Maggie McInerney between the pin and the block, and it is 11-8. Charlotte Breck finds an attack. She's able to hit it hard. Maddie Ryan digs it up, but Charlotte hit it so hard that the Ryan dig went all the way back out of our camera sight and out of bounds. So that's a point, Hope. Outside attack by McInerney, and that ball goes deep. That ball lands in. One of the disadvantages of our obstructed view. Point for Chicago, 12-9. You all can probably see it better than we can as I'm looking at the video monitor. I would say that Mr. Steve Secor has successfully captured 98.5% of the court. Thank you, Steve. I could pull out my calculus book, but I wouldn't know how to do it. So Annie Lockett with an attack that's sent back by Hope. And Ellie Alden gets credit for the block. They've cut the lead to 12-10. Serve is deep middle. Emma Post to Lee. Pushed by Charlotte Breck. She found a spot. She couldn't bring a lot of power on that as the timing wasn't there, but she had full vision and wisely pushed it from her right to left. 13-10. Hope holding on to its lead. Tough serve. Chicago has to dig it out, and they send over a free ball. Annie Lockett from the outside. It's out, and it is out without a touch, as that was a good cut shot, but it cut too hard, 13-11. These two teams have battled. Hope dominated set one. Chicago dominated set two, and it is neck and neck. Chicago wanted 4 hits on that. As a right side attack by Cammie Cox, and it finds the floor after a ricochet. Hope's not able to track it down, 13-12. And the Chicago coaching staff was up screaming for 4 hits. But when you get a play like that, it doesn't matter because the point goes to Chicago. Outside, Lockett, and that ball is going to go way high, and we are tied at 13 as Lockett tried to get it up over the block, but not enough topspin and a little too much juice. And we are tied at 13. Chicago has climbed its way back. McInerney to serve. Lauren Lee goes outside to Lockett. It's blocked. Chicago's going to send it back. Cox has hers blocked. She's going to get another chance. Middle to DeWeert. She tips. She battles at the net. Hope will get another chance. Lockett. In the middle, back row attack. Roll shot by McInerney. Dug up by Fiebing. Lockett. Played by McInerney. And the attack falls to the ground by Natalie Schlitt. It was blocked, but there was no cover as it slipped between the two blockers. And Chicago has its first lead of set 3. 14-13. Coach Schmidt wants a timeout. We will be back. This is great volleyball. Don't go away. You're watching Hope Volleyball. The University of Chicago had almost nothing going for it in set one. They lost the first 3 points of set two and then commanded the rest of the way to pick up the victory in set two. They fell behind early here by as many as 4 points, and they have now taken a 2-point lead as that attack by Lauren Lee with her left hand went wide. That's a tough play for a setter because you can't exactly see where you're hitting it, and that one went wide, 15-13. McInerney with the serve. Back row attack by Emma Post, and she finds a spot from 13 feet off the net. Emma Post with a great effort this evening. The Hudsonville senior has waited her time to play in front of some very, very good players, and she is proving to be everything they were as she picks up another kill. I think that puts her at, is it 12? I think it's 12. It is indeed. 12 kills for Emma Post, and now Chicago gets the ball back on the point as that ricochets off the block, and they lead 16-14. Just when we thought Hope might be able to tie it, Chicago has an answer. Crowd getting a little restless here, as I think they thought they would be out of here in an hour and a half. I know Steve Secor and I did. Tough first contact. Emma Post again from about 11 feet off the net. Cammie Cox, her attack is handled. Roll shot by Lockett. Cammie Cox again. Hard down the line, but it's picked up by Phoebing. Lockett's going to try to get it back, but she can't do anything but roll it. It's picked up. Lockett sends it back on a block, but Chicago's still with the ball. And Lauren Lee's second contact attack is played. She's going to go outside again to Lockett. Picked up in the back row by Patel. Lauren Lee's going to have to bump set it. Roll shot by Post with her left hand. Outside, another tip. These women have to be tired. Be interesting to know the length of time of this point. I'm tired just watching them. Cammie Cox can't get it. Middle attack by Allison DeWeert, and she picks it up. What a critical point for the Flying Dutch. And they've cut the lead to 15-16, and everybody on the floor is breathing hard. That had to have been a 50-second point, and the momentum might be shifting back toward Hope as, wow, both teams you could tell were getting tired, and Allison DeWeert wisely found a medium speed roll shot that ricocheted off the block and fell in. 16-15, Chicago still with the lead. Right side, Cammie Cox. That one is deflected. Middle to DeWeert, and she finds a spot. Allison DeWeert in the deep corner, and we are tied at 16. Allison DeWeert picks up let's refresh the stats, her 8th kill of the night. Emma Post leads all attackers with 12. Outside attack, wide open is Natalie Schlitt as the blockers could not get there fast enough. And it's 17-16. Chicago refuses to relinquish the lead. The server is Ryan, the Seattle setting senior. Lauren Lee's got to take it with one hand. She does a great job of pulling it out, and Allison DeWeert is there for a block. That was not a pretty point, as the coach from Chicago, McPartland, is asking if that was a legal set. And the answer is yes, and we're tied at 17. Pump set goes to Schlitt. It's handled by Hope, but we have a violation. I think it was illegal contact, and that's going to give the ball to Chicago, and they maintain the lead again. They have refused to give it up. They trailed early, but then they took that lead back. There's a mishandled serve receive by Hope, and that's going to give Chicago a 2-point lead. We're hearing audible groans from some of the fans as they thought they would be home with a Hope victory. Chicago had other plans. Emma Post! Oh, just deep. Wait a minute. That ball is ruled in, and that's going to be a point for Hope. 19-18. I thought it was in 2, and then the flag went up. And upon further review, it's a Hope point. Chicago leads by 1. We need those U.S. Open tapes, you know? I'm sure every college in America could afford that. Back row attack, a little roll shot by Lockett is handled. Middle attack is not handled by Hope. Daya Mishra, another Seattle product, a freshman middle, picks up a point, and Chicago extends its lead to 2. Barbarossa back in. She will serve. Left-handed. Little zip play to Charlotte Breck, who's in the game. And nothing fancy there, but a wise play by Charlotte as she had some blockers and she was able to tip it over. Chicago a little slow to get to that one, and it's 20-19. Hope to serve, trying desperately to tie and then to take the lead. Right side attack by Lotz. Hope handles it. Lockett sends it hard. It's played by Chicago. Outside is McInerney, and she picks up the point as Hope cannot dig it up. 21-19. Chicago with the lead. I would call the crowd stunned, if not sedated, as they are really thinking. I think they came into this thinking this would be a good match, a good test for Hope. But Chicago has handled a majority of the match, and they're about to take, unless Hope can turn it around, like on a play like that from Charlotte Breck, who was able to ricochet it off the single block and cut the lead to 1. Every time this has happened today, Chicago has had an answer. Hope with the serve and a chance to tie. Chicago has taken the crowd out of this for sure. Middle attack played by Hope, but they're going to have to send it over on a free ball. That's going to give an a right side attack by Cammie Cox, but it is blocked by Annie Lockett. And we are tied. Finally, 21-all. Hope to serve with a chance to take the lead. Tough serve receive for Chicago. Hope will get a chance on a free ball. Lockett rolls it, but it's sent right back. Emma Post from the back row sends it. That's sent back. Outside is handled by Hope, and that ball is out but touched. The point goes to Hope. The lead goes to Hope, and Chicago wants a timeout. Hard work has paid off for the Flying Dutch as they take the lead near the end of set 3. We will be back in just a minute with more Hope Volleyball. 22-21. Hope with the lead in the serve. Outside. McInerney is lifted back, and Hope responds! As it's heading back, Allison DeWeert finds a middle attack, and it's 23-21. What looked to be dire just a few points ago, Hope is now in a position that they would like to be. Up by 2 with only 2 points to go. Pushed by Alden. DeWeert. Hope is going to get another chance on a free ball outside to Lockett. And it's in! It's off the block. It's still in. Hope at set point. And the crowd has moved from sedation to exhilaration as Hope is on the precipice of winning set 2. Outside. Dug up by Hope. Lockett for the win. Just wide. An aggressive play by Annie Lockett. Just cut it a little too hard. Still set point for Hope. The serve is McInerney from Chicago. Middle. DeWeert, and a violation! A net violation by Chicago. And Hope takes a 2-1 lead. Whoa, time to take a deep breath and celebrate a Hope victory as Chicago gave them all they could handle and almost pulled off that victory. Hope, however, did. In set 3, they lead 2-1. We will be back in just a bit with more Hope Volleyball. Give me one. About to start, set 4 in what has been a really competitive and for the most part well played volleyball match. Hope leads 2-1. And it's been very close. Hope with a slight advantage in hitting percentage, 246 to 208. They have 46 kills compared to Chicago's 41. And the sets have been that close. Set 4 will start with Chicago serving. I'm wrong. Set 4 will start with Hope serving. I didn't see a ball, so I figured it was Chicago serve. Little did I know the referee was holding the ball. Grace Marshall will start serving, and the first point's going to go to Chicago on the outside attack. In terms of individual statistics, McInerney leads all hitters for Chicago with 11, Schlitt with 8, Cox with 6, and Mishra with 5. And Chicago picks up another point. Right side, Emma Post leads all hitters for the Dutch, 591. Lockett and DeWeert each with 10. Fiebing with 21 digs, Post with 9, Lockett with 8 for Hope. Breck pushes it over. Right down the line, Cammie Cox sends it from her right side, keeps it along the right side, and she finds the tape. 3-0, great play by Cammie Cox. Chicago off to a 3-0 lead. Bump set by Lee. Lockett finds a spot in the deep corner just outside of the reach of Julia Craig, the libero. 3-1 Chicago. Fiebing to serve. Middle attack is Emily Alden, played by Hope. Outside, and it is blocked. The question is, was there any contact? The question is, the answer is that ball is blocked and in. Point Hope, 3-2. Natalie Schlitt had 2 blockers come up against her, and they sent it back. Fiebing serves it to her libero mate on the other team. And that time, Allison DeWeert sends it right at Julia Craig, who could get one hand on it but couldn't lift it. And now Hope has scored the next 3 points after Chicago scored the first 3. Very similar to set 2, a mirror image of it. Schlitt's attack is blocked, and Allison DeWeert with no blockers just sends it down like a hitting line. 4-3. Great play by Hope to fool the Chicago defense. Allison DeWeert had nobody to contest her. Fiebing to serve again. Craig digs it out, but it's too close to the net as the setter Patel is not able to grab it, and Hope scores again, 5-3. Even with her third serve, Craig picks it up. Right side, that ball from Cox is deflected. Lockett gets it up over the block. One-handed set. Nice play by Chicago. Lockett's going to give another chance. Picked up by Craig. Outside hit from Natalie Schlitt, and she pounds it home. 5-4 Hope. Chicago to serve at 5-4, set 4. Post, Lee, Lockett down the line. Picked up well by Patel. Back row attack, McInerney. Lee to the middle. Missed time, but DeWeert gets it over. Cami Cox, and she finds a way as it's misplayed in the back row. And we are tied at 5. Chicago fighting mightily on the road against a top 10 team. DeWeert is blocked, but Emma Post, after hustle by Lauren Lee, is able to get it over. Middle attack is blocked. Daira Mishra is blocked by Allison DeWeert and Lauren Lee. And Hope has a 1-point lead. Lee drops back to serve. Sends it down the right side, and she's able to get it off the hands of Natalie Schlitt, who I don't think thought she was going to be in the play there, as Lauren Lee threaded the needle down the right side of the court. Schlitt's able to handle this one, but it's an overpass that Allison DeWeert pounds home. Lauren Lee with some tough serving, opening up some offense for the Flying Dutch. 8-5. It's going to go more toward the middle of the court, this time go after McInerney. She has a hard time with it, although Chicago will get a play on it. Back set, Emma Post! What a set from Lauren Lee to find Emma Post. And the Flying Dutch take a 4-point lead. Chicago calls time. We'll be back with more Hope Volleyball. Hope College putting a mini run together here in set 4. And they've stretched their lead to 9-5. Lauren Lee, this has been a sequence for her. 2 tough serves and then an amazing back set to Emma Post on that last point. And that ball is a point kill by Cami Cox as she's able to dribble it in between the net and the 2 Hope blockers. Hope failing to get the penetration they needed. Chicago with a nice play. Cami Cox with the right side attack. Cami Cox has 10 kills on the night. That ball is chased down by DeWeert. Now a tip from the outside by Natalie Schlitt. And the smart right-hander, I think she's right-handed, but I think she hit that one with her left hand, and she found a spot. And that 9-5 lead has been cut to 9-7. Great to see so many of the regulars in the Hope crowd. Volleyball team, our volleyball supporters, many of them several decades in their loyalty to Hope Sports, and in this case, volleyball in particular. That serve is out. That gives the ball back to Hope with a 10-7 lead, and Annie Lockett will serve. That back row attack comes from McInerney. Jenna Core has it sent back. Lauren Lee, is going to send it to Jenna Core, who finds a spot. They've had Jenna handled most of the night, and it's great to see her unleashing on a kill. That is her third of the night. Climbing out of negative hitting territory at 0-5-3, and Annie Lockett sends it too deep for her subsequent serve, and that's going to make the score 11-8 and give the ball back to Chicago. Serve from right to left, picked up by Lockett. Emma Post, who is on fire tonight, sends it from right to left, and she's able to ricochet it off Natalie Schlitt, and that is going to be Emma Post. Let's check the number, 15th kill of the night, perhaps her best match in Hope history. The weird serve goes deep. The teams trade points, Hope with a 3-point lead. Here's Chicago serve. Deep middle, picked up by Phoebe. Nice play. Jenna Core finds the floor. Great dig, great set, and some power from Jenna Core. 13-9. Emma Post, who has had herself a day, drops back for her left-handed serve along the right side of the court. They're going to back set it. And it goes to Lotz, handled by Hope. Back row attack by Lockett, handled by Chicago. Lotz again, this time the right hand on the right side, sends it down the right side of the court, and Emma Lotz picks up a point. Chicago not going away. That is only Emma Lotz's third kill, but it came at a great time as it stops Hope from pulling ahead by 5. 13-10 now, the Dutch lead. And that ball is deep, and Hope picks up an easy point on a service error. 14-10. Jenna Core will come out after a nice rotation up front. And Grace Marshall will take her spot with the ball in her hand, leading 14-10. From the left side of the court, outside set. It's played by Hope. McInerney on the attempt. Lockett is now up front. Her ball is handled by Chicago. Phoebing to Lee. Sends it over on the second contact. Back row attacked by Schlitt is played by Hope. And we have a net violation as Hope is going to pick up a point, and they are going to pick up their biggest lead of the night, in this set anyway, at 15-10. Marshall hits a laser to the left side of the court, and Chicago has an answer as Ellie Alden from the middle finds a spot in the deep corner. Nice play by Alden, her 9th kill of the night. Emma Post digs it up, and Allison DeWeert has her attack blocked in the middle by Ellie Alden. That doesn't happen a lot. That was Charlotte Breck playing middle there. I think I said Allison. They have switched as it's Charlotte Breck's rotation up front. Not a great serve received by Hope, but Hope is able to manage it. Charlotte Breck can't get a lot on it. Outside attack. Played by Marshall. Outside Lockett, who lights a fire and sends a laser to Julia Craig, who can't pick it up. I don't think anyone could have. And Hope leads by 4. Annie Lockett can change speeds very well. That time she brought the heat and picked up the point. That is Lockett's 12th kill of the night. Olivia Phoebing with a great play. Hope's going to have to free ball it over, but what a first contact by Phoebing. And that is a net violation by Hope, and it would have been a kill by Chicago anyway. 16-13, that 5-point lead is down to 3 as Chicago is gritty in their efforts to stay up with the Flying Dutch on the road. And communication breakdown as it was the serve receive was not good. Lauren Lee got it up in the air, but really didn't have anybody. And everybody watched around the campfire as Chicago picks up the point, 16-13. Lauren Lee's going to try it again. A quick hitter in the middle to Allison DeWeert. And the crowd erupts as that 5-point lead had been shaved to 2. Hope's able to get the point back. And Lauren Lee, who has been a really tough server tonight, goes back to serve along the right side of the court. This time she goes to the left, picked up by Craig. The attack is deflected and handled by Hope. Emma Post, she lets it fly and picks up another point. Emma Post has been outstanding tonight, and she picks up her 15th kill. Chicago will take its final time out of this set. Hope leads 18-14. We'll be back with more Hope Volleyball. Welcome back to what we hope will be the end of a great evening of volleyball. It will be really great to be a Hope College Flying Dutch if they can pick up 7 more points against a very, very good University of Chicago team that at one point it looked like they were going to walk away with the victory. Hope with the lead right now and command of the game, but not a huge command as Chicago has an answer coming out of their timeout, and they fire one right at Lauren Lee, and she's not able to dig it up. Chicago with a lot of energy still, even though they trail 18-15. They know they can't trade points, but they also have been successful in picking up 3 or 4 at a time with some great defense and some great serving. Lauren Lee has to come way over. Emma Post from the outside in that particular serve-receive rotation has to send it over. Nice attack by Lotz, but dug well by Hope. Lockett goes wide. I think it's in. It is. Annie Lockett somehow cuts it. It lands inside the tape at about the 13-foot line. The Chicago bench cannot believe it, but that was in. 19-15. I don't think there was any doubt. Great serve by Lockett. McInerney sends it over from the back row. Emma Post. Finally, someone was able to dig Emma Post. And nice play that time by Emma Lott. She's able to pick up a point. And the crowd goes quiet as Jenna Core goes down. Head athletic trainer Tanya Gruppen comes over. It doesn't look to be terribly serious, but it looks like it might need a little bit of a rest. We'll see once how Coach Becky Schmidt decides to sub, and she's going to come with the freshman Brooke Fox, the outsider from Sauneman, Illinois. Chicago picks up that point, and that means it's going to be 19-16. Brooke Fox getting some time in a set where the game is on the line. They go right after Brooke, but she's able to yield it to Fiebing, who picks up the first contact on serve receive. Fiebing with the set to Emma Post, picked up by Craig. Right side attack is Lotz. Lauren Lee forward sets it to Brooke Fox, who picks up a point on a roll shot. Brooke Fox making a rare appearance because of the injury to Jenna Core. She played a little bit in set one when it was kind of out of reach. And she picks up a big point, 20-16. Block by Breck is handled by Chicago, but they try to get it over from the back row, and there's a hitting error, and that gives Hope a 21-16 lead as Allison DeWeert will go back. Charlotte Breck with a middle block gives Hope a 22-16 lead. Just checking the stats coming into tonight, Brooke Fox had played in 3 sets in 3 different matches. She had scored 4.5 points and averaged 1.5 points per set, but only had 4 kills. And there's another point by Hope on an ace, 23-16. Chicago has no timeouts left. DeWeert. Chicago cannot get an attempt. Outside to Fox, and she scores! Brooke Fox comes in off the bench and picks up another point, 24-16. Coming into tonight, she had a total of 4 kills and was hitting .273. There's a right side attack by Emma Lotz, and that's able to keep Chicago alive as Hope is sitting at match point at 24-17. Lockett, Lee, Emma Post. It is blocked. Back row attack by Lockett into the net. And Chicago stays alive. Emma Post, 16 kills, hitting .571 tonight. Charlotte Breck with 11 kills, hitting .381. Brooke Fox with a tip. And a block, and that is the game and the match as Hope College emerges victorious over a very tough University of Chicago team by a score in set 4 of 25-18. That concludes our broadcast for this evening. We very much appreciate you joining us. Please be with us this weekend as we will have 3 matches, 1 on Friday, 2 on Saturday. Mr. Secor, will you be here?
I would say
99% sure. If you're not here, it ain't happening. So someone will be here to engineer the dials, executive producer, cameraman, and voice, what do we call it? Just the guy in charge of the mic. Is Mr. Steve Secor. We appreciate all that you have done. We appreciate you joining us. It was a great volleyball match, and we have a lot more coming up this weekend. So come out to DeVos and join us. Otherwise, please join us on our web stream starting Friday night. The final score, Hope 3, Chicago 1. This has been Hope Volleyball. Thanks for joining us.